Good morning, everybody, and happy Tuesday. Today, I am very honored to introduce my very special guest. Now, you know that I don't normally, nor would I probably ever interview the same person within, a week's time. So today, instead of Sabre Sparkman, this is Bobby Sparkman.
By proxy.
By proxy, Bobby Sparkman by proxy. And today we're going to be talking about bikes, trikes, and Power Wheels. That's awesome. This is an event that's coming up this Saturday, which is free to the public.
It is.
So Bobby, tell me a little bit about your fundraiser.
Well, it is going to we're donating the proceeds to between the Vine School here in Victoria and the Ronald McDonald House in Houston. We have done fundraisers, car shows in the past, and Eric Mercer from Velocity Powersports is like, hey, we'd like to try to get together and maybe do something. And we're like, sure. I tell you what, best group of people to work with.
Yeah,
awesome.
Absolutely.
Velocity has they have stepped up. They've helped with all the proceeds, and we're having it at their place. And the registration, the car show, all the proceeds go to fund the benefit, and 100% goes back into the charities that we picked.
So Bobby, how many years have you been involved in cars?
Since birth.
Since birth?
Yes. And drug my wife into it when we got married. But he always...
How does she feel about it?
Love it now. Wasn't so much fun with at the beginning, but now it's just part of life.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me now, I know that you guys now have Sparkman Motorsports, and is that a nonprofit, or is that...
It is. We use it as our fundraising. We go out and it's totally transparent. Anybody can look and see that everything's going right back into these charities that we're raising money for.
What moved you and your wife, Sabra, to want to do something like this, to bring, car shows and motorsport shows and things like that into the community, but then to turn right around and to donate it to other nonprofits?
Well, the car group is such a fantastic group of people.
I do know, yes.
They, everybody, once you join a car group, you are family. We just recently joined the Crossroads Cruisers because they have that same goal that we do. They, they go out, they have fun, they put on car shows, and they give back to the community. And, we've lived here all of our lives. We've raised our kids here. We're raising our grandkids here. And, we want to be part of the success of our community and bring things that are fun and family friendly and things that, women come out. We like to try to have stuff for them too, booths and stuff like that. But, it's all about just that bonding time and spending quality time with your family.
And here's the thing that I think is so interesting too, is that I don't think that a lot of people are aware of just how family friendly car shows really are. I mean, for this particular event, this coming up Saturday at Velocity Powersports, Bikes, Trikes, and Power Wheels, it's geared towards, first of all, it's a free event in our community. You guys are going to have food vendors. You guys are going to have snow cone vendors. You guys are going to have music, and then you're going to have this incredible, showcase of vehicles. But then just for the kids, you guys are going to have a Power Wheels parade.
Absolutely.
Which I think is super, super fun. I don't know about you, Bobby, but when I was a kid, I had a Power Wheels.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Motorcycles, Power Wheels, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And so if you are a kiddo that's interested, do they need to pre-register?
They can, or they could show up that day with their Power Wheels, however they want to do it. We'd like to try to get a head count, but if not, if it strikes you that morning and you're not having anything to do, load your Power Wheels up and come join us.
Oh, that's awesome. And the event is from 10:30 to 5 p.m.
Yes, and I believe we have it set up on the schedule around 1 for the Power Wheels Parade. If you go to the Facebook page, it has a list of the times.
And that's the Bikes, Trikes, and Power Wheels Facebook page.
Yes.
Cool, very cool. So anyway, where I was alluding to that is that has that been something that has just adapted over the years, that it's become such a family-friendly,
You know, we started out with Volkswagens, and we did that for many, many years, and it was a different dynamic of people, but it was still, you know, you brought your kids, you brought your grandkids, and, you know, I really couldn't tell you that because I've always been involved in the family part of it. I've never seen one that I've been to that wasn't, that I would never, you know.
Right.
Even my daughter, she doesn't particularly like the car part of it, but she goes to the car shows because she likes the stuff and, you know, the family events. Yes.
The atmosphere. That's awesome.
Yes.
So what other events do you guys do? Because I've seen, you know, the Sparkman Motorsports coming up a lot.
We try to help out with anything that we can in the community. We've been getting lots of people calling and asking, hey, you know, will you help us with this? And, you know, I do it, and then I tell my wife, oh, guess what we're doing? We're going to do this weekend, or we're going to help do this. But
how does your wife feel about that?
Always on board.
That's awesome. You're so lucky, Bobby, to have such a
so lucky.
supportive wife.
He is so lucky.
You are so lucky.
He is. Yes, I am. Sorry. I am.
Very fun. So, you know, I know that you've got some, you know, your heart is in wine school. And then we know, of course, some friends personally who have greatly benefited from the kindness that was shown through Ronald McDonald House. Why did you pick these two nonprofits?
Well, the Vine School is very close to my wife's heart. Worked in autism and that for many, many years through the public school. Understand completely how important this school is to our community. Ronald McDonald House, we reached out to some people that were going through some stuff at the time. We're looking at different charities to give, and the Braga family explained to us how important they were to them when their daughter was going through treatment.
Right.
And we were like, absolutely on board. Wife has spoken to the gentleman at the Ronald McDonald House that is at the we're fixed to speak to the wife here. Got to speak to the wife here.
Sabra!
Hey!
We're just giving Bobby. Now listen, here's the deal. Bobby is such a jokester that we had to do it because he had to work. So we wanted to, at least for him, he was here with us in spirit.
That's exactly right.
Super
Got to keep him everywhere we go.
And how many women do you know? Like Sabra, who said, sure, I'll don a handlebar mustache for you. Because I said, I don't normally interview the same person in a week, but I'd love to have you again.
I'm game for anything.
That's awesome.
But I spoke to the gentleman at the Ronald McDonald House, and I was really surprised how much they do other than just for the children. He was explaining to me how mothers who have babies in utero that have been identified with spina bifida will come and stay at their house while they're receiving treatments, because the treatments at one point they had to be there for a month at a time. And, you know, for a mom to leave a family at home for a month at a time, not only is it stressful for her, but financially, you really can't afford to do something like that.
Sure.
So they provide and that the means for the mom to stay there, get the treatments that they need. So they're not only helping babies and families that are here, they're also helping for
babies that are in utero,
absolutely.
Which is phenomenal.
I was really impressed.
If it's a free event,
yes,
how do you guys raise funds?
We raise funds through sponsors. And I have to tell you, usually it takes about a year to get a good sound foundation sponsor-wise and stuff like that for a car show. And we probably did it in less than 5 months.
That's amazing.
It is.
But our community can be super incredible.
Can. And I have to give Mr. Mercer credit. He has really gotten and, you know, made phone calls and
sure, absolutely, give him credit.
And you know, that whole organization has been, you know, two wild people come in there because everybody knows the Sparkmans are all over the place, and we come in there throwing all these ideas at them, and they're like, let's do it.
That's awesome.
The day we sat down to initially start this, Eric is like, well, what are your fundraising goals? And we're like, you know, we really hadn't talked about it. He's like, let's go big. He's like, let go big or go home. And we're like, yeah, that, you know.
Right.
So they're a perfect team for us.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's so amazing.
And like I said, the community has, You know, KCI is one that no matter what we do, they're like, let us know we're on board, you know, and we've got a bunch of different really high dollar sponsors. And guys, go to our Facebook page and look at the people in your community that are willing to sponsor and help and give money, even though they're giving to all these other places. They still, we're on board with this. Let us know what we can do.
Yeah. And give
it's
them
amazing.
thanks and
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, maybe 2 people that I have talked to told me we can't do anything right now. Everybody else is like, what do you want?
That's awesome.
You know, and it renews your faith in a community when, you know, you could just go in, they don't know who you are, and you say, hey, I'm doing this, and they're like, absolutely, where can I sign? So now you know who I am, so when I come hit you up for next year, you can donate.
Because this is something that you want to make as an annual event.
We have a verbal commitment from Velocity. They're on board, and next year we would like to pick up another charity, and we would like to just add to our list of people that we help out.
And I'm going to say something too. You know that on Southbridge Street Live right now, we're doing a backpack drive, and this is to benefit CASA. And this is a part of the thing that just makes me just love my community and people like you. Just always so grateful because, you know, Sabra and Sparkman Motorsports were the first to bring the backpack in lieu of doing anything for advertising. You know, just to come and pay that forward, I thought was exciting. So a shout out to, you know, again, to Sparkman Motorsports for starting this fundraiser off for CASA. And so it's just this incredible way in which our community pays it forward. So I do really appreciate that.
Absolutely. We are, you know, when Bobby came to me and said that he was going to build this hot rod, I was like, oh Lord, another project. We have so many in the works. And I'm like, whatever, you know, I'm just like, okay, honey, because he lets me do my thing. I'm like, okay. Well, when it came out, I was like, oh Lord. You know, you've seen it. You've taken pictures of it. It's old rusty truck with the bomb on the back. And the thing he told to me when he did it, he says, I want to be able to have something that kids can climb in, crawl on, take pictures on. We don't have to worry about it getting scratched. He's like, I want this for the kids. Wow. And, you know, whenever I told him I wanted to do the Vine School, he says it's for the kids, you know. Yeah. He's this big burly guy, and he drives me completely insane, but he has the biggest heart. It's always whatever for the kids.
That's awesome.
Whatever we can do to, you know, he's been dealing a lot with the Ronald McDonald house. He's like, they're so cool. The stuff that they do is so cool. And I'm like, they do it for the families and the kids. Right. And he's like, that's what it's all about.
That's right. That is what it's all about. So this Saturday from 10:30 to 5 p.m., it's the first annual, because you can kind of say it's the first ever.
First ever. There we go.
Bikes, Trikes,
yes, but to be continued.
Powerwheels, to be continued. That's going to be at Velocity Powersports off of Navarro.
Yes, across from Arby's.
Across from Arby's. There you go. 10:30 to 5 o'clock.
10 to 5.
Bring kids. Bring your children. Bring your children and your Powerwheels.
And if you have any questions, you can go to the Bikes, Trikes, and Powerwheels Facebook page, click events, and it gives you all the stuff for registering a car or whatever. Come out, have fun, support the vendors that are coming out there.
And then, of course, to meet the real Bobby Sparkman.
Yes, you will have to be there to see the real one.
That's awesome. Thank you again, Sabra, for coming by. I do appreciate your time. And thank you so much for participating in the backpack drive for CASA and then forwarding all of these things that you do for the children in our community. You're awesome. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
See you guys on Saturday, Bikes, Trikes, and Powerwheels. Thanks so much for watching Southbridge Street Live.